Hello, so today we'll be discussing about CUET 2022 question paper. So let us understand what it is. Asymmetrical features of federalism in India include. So for that you have to understand what are the federal features of India, and asymmetrical means the features which are inclined towards more unitary, or where the center's imposition of laws or center's provisions regarding the laws are greater. Now let us understand. You can solve it through the ABCD MCQs. So first, so the running options would be option C. So what is option C is all the above. So what does this, for you to understand what are the asymmetrical features, you have to understand what is fifth schedule, what is sixth schedule, and what does Article 371A and what is Article 371G means. So first understand what is Article 371A. No act of parliament shall apply to the state of Nagaland. So this is Article 371A, means the federal features here are little bit towards the states, where the state features will take over. And Article 371G, these is special provisions with respect to Mizoram. And the next one is fifth schedule. So fifth schedule and sixth schedule you should be knowing by now, which is control of administration in scheduled areas and scheduled tribes in Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. And sixth schedule is about administration of tribal areas in Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. So this is all the options A, B, C, D. Now let us understand the second question. Which of the constitutional provisions doesn't or don't come within the legislative jurisdiction of legislature of a state? So first one is matters relating to clause 3 of Article 16, matters relating to Article 32, Article 33, Article 34, or matters relating to clause 4 of Article 16. So if you understand, if you look at the options, so there are like A, B, C, D, there are 5 options. Also the answers, the more of the articles which do not belong to the jurisdiction of state legislature are also 4 above this. So what are these options? So this is option C. So option C means only A, C, D, E. So the matters relating to the clause 3 of Article 16, then the matters relating to Article 33. So what is Article 16 of clause 3? No law shall prevent Parliament from making laws to appointment of citizens or appointment of officers to the states. And what is Article 16.4? States shall not prevent from making provisions for reservations of appointments. Then what is Article 32? Article 32 is individual right to move to court. So this is an important article, right to constitutional remedies. And Article 33 is application of fundamental rights to specific categories like army. And Article 34 is Parliament can indemnify any government servant from any act done in restoring the peace. So now the third question is reservation of seats for the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes in the House of People is provided under which article? So here only if you know what are those articles, then only you can rule out. There is no multiple choice questions. So the answer is here this question was dropped. So you might have understood the question answer for now. The question was dropped because there was no option related to the question. So, but the correct option is Article 330. So 330 deals with seats reserved for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes in the House of the People, in the lower houses. Okay. Then which of the following articles were not inserted by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976? So please go through the amendments lecture, then you can understand what are the articles that were been inserted or not inserted. Here the question is not inserted by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. So here 2 options are true. So if you go by the options, so 2 options are true. Then if you sit down to eliminate, you can understand Article 21A. If you have read the DPSP's lecture and the amendments brought up to the fundamental rights, so Article 21A is through 86 Constitutional Amendment Act. This is not through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. So option A, if you have known option A itself, then option 1 was correct. So for you to understand, you have to know the famous amendments. So if you know the famous amendments, then you can rule out the options very easily. So if you have known the Article 21A is not part of 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, then option 1 would have been correct. Then other one you have to know is Article 31A. This is First Amendment Act. Now next question is, who in the Constituent Assembly said the doctrine of independence was not to be raised to the level of a dogma as to enable the judiciary to function as a kind of super legislature or super executive. So for this you have to have read the details or the extra details regarding the constitution, assembly debates. So here the option is A.K. Iyer. Now the other question. So first understand what is Parliament of India consist of. So for this you should have gone through the Parliament chapter. So the Parliament of India consists of what? So here also you should know the three options. So three options would make sense. So Parliament of India consists of what? Now you can rule out here what is Parliament. Parliament, suppose it consists of Lok Sabha, it consists of Rajya Sabha. So what is House of People? House of People is Lok Sabha. So option A is true. Then Council of States. So Council of States is what? The state's representation. So this is the upper house. So option B. Then does President. So President is part of Parliament. So Parliament also that one. So ABC is correct answer. Now next one, which of the following is or are true? So now if you look at, there has to be either 3 options to be correct or 4 options to be correct. So now let us understand Article 143 provides for the power of President to consult Supreme Court. And the opinion of Supreme Court is not binding. Supreme Court is not bound to give opinion on subject matter. So referred. Supreme Court would respectfully decline to answer with reference if it is improper, inadvisable, and undesirable. Supreme Court is bound to give an opinion. So I think this question has been dropped because if we go by the first statement, then the other statements are contradicting itself. So I think this has been dropped and the option is none, but the answers are only A and B. So if you have read the President chapter and the Supreme Court chapter, Supreme Court, suppose Article 143 is power of President to consult the Supreme Court. But Supreme Court opinion is not binding on the President on certain matters because it is related to Article 143. Now the next question is, Parliament may by law extend the jurisdiction of High Court, establish a common High Court for 2 or more states, constitute a High Court for a union territory, establish administrative tribunal for each state, and appoint judges of high courts. Here you can easily rule out if you have read. So please go through the judiciary chapter or the parliament chapter. So there you can find the powers of both the parliament and the judiciary. So here you can do what all you can do is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of 5 options, here the options are related to 4 MCQs. So you can rule out that the odd one out. So here the odd one out is appointment of judges of High Court. So who does appointment of judges of High Court? So for that, so please, President does the appointment of judges of High Court and the recommendation. So for that, you have to go through the High Court chapter and the option A is true. You can do the ruling out options if you have known the parliament powers or the or have read the lecture on Supreme Court, High Court, and the other subsidiary courts. Now, which constitutional amendment lowered the voting age of 21 to 18 years? So for you to answer this question, first you should know that the initial age to vote is 21 years and later it was cut down to 18 years. So this has been done through what act? So this question, you could have read it in the elections chapter. So the answer is 61st Constitutional Amendment Act 1988. So let us also read the other amendment acts because this is very important if seen from the MCQ point of view. So 58th Amendment Act deals with use of English and Hindi in official documents. Then 64th deals with address issues. So this basically addresses issues in state of Punjab, and also it's very important, amend the Article 356 itself. Then 65th Amendment Act is National Commission for SC/ST, a multi-member commission was established. So initially a single member commission, it was later amended to multi-member commission. Now the Constitution 42nd Amendment Act 1976 added 3 words to the preamble of the Constitution. So please read preamble chapter, or you can read amendment chapters also. So from the point, there are already two questions on 42nd Amendment Act. So you should know what are the provisions that have been added through this act. When was this added? Under whose regime it was added? So now what does preamble added? So here only 3 words. So please go through preamble lecture. So the option is A. Socialist, secular, and integrity are the 3 words which were added to the preamble of the Constitution through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. So you can also know the 42nd Amendment Act is known as mini constitution, because many constitutional amendments, the basic structure was also